In 2001, Microsoft took a gamble and decided to enter the gaming market with the release of the brand new Xbox. To compete with Sony's hot, fresh new PS2 and veteran Nintendo's GameCube, Microsoft needed to succeed with the deck stacked against them. On the back of their flagship franchise Halo, Xbox was able to secure its future and hold its spot in the industry for generations.
And while platform exclusives are nothing new,
And every console has had their fair share of them, they often become the face of the platform and some of the best-selling titles. The past 2 decades of consoles have seen many exclusive franchises that have all been kept pretty tight to the chest, playing their pieces carefully and putting the most effort and care into their IPs. Except for Microsoft. A quick Google search for Xbox One exclusives show a library of not so impressive, not so exclusive games. I'm not saying that putting more of the games they publish on other platforms is bad, it's just that none of these titles feel like they were shown any love from their publishers, and certainly not from the audiences either. Even if you live under a rock, you've probably heard better things about the new God of War or Bloodborne than you've heard about Quantum Break or Halo 5. I want Xbox to have good games. Up until a few years ago, I've owned nothing but Xboxes, and I grew up on the amazing titles of yesteryear. And now, with a new generation of consoles on the horizon, I want to talk about the best exclusive in the Xbox One library: Sunset Overdrive. Right off the bat, the first thing you notice from this game is just how alive it is. Bright colors pop at you from every corner, the soundtrack is energetic, the movement is flashy, and the action never stops. The game is full throttle and doesn't take itself so seriously. It's got heart that shines through in so many aspects, and I can't help but get sucked into it. I've never really heard much about this game, even online, and only a few friends have remembered it, less so played it. And I don't understand why. So I'm gonna make the case for this game. I don't think it got as much attention as it deserved, so I'm gonna go through why I love this game and why you should give it a shot. I mean, it's on Steam and the Game Pass now, so it's not exactly like you gotta jump through hoops to play it. I guess I should explain what exactly Sunset Overdrive is about first. Well, the game takes place in the stunning Sunset City, after the automated corporation Fizco releases a new energy drink that turns people into mutants, or OD. The city becomes overrun, but now it's been turned into a traversal playground. With plenty of stuff to bounce and grind on, Sunset Overdrive becomes a movement shooter unlike anything else. The city is vast but tightly packed, and not only is it traversally expansive, but vertically expansive as well. Getting around becomes a game in itself, and I often forget there's a fast travel because I have so much fun just getting from point A to point B. The controls are fluid, and it feels really great to keep your momentum going and speed through the city. As the game progresses, you unlock more and more abilities to help you get around the city, like the air dash or the super bounce, which opens up the world to so much more. Making the best of your movement is crucial, and the game is fully aware of this. Running on the ground is slow and leaves you vulnerable to many enemies, but staying high and staying mobile turns you from some helpless survivor to an apocalypse king. But that's only one half of the Sunset Sandwich. Movement is key to survival, but weapons are what makes you dangerous. Sunset Overdrive has a very diverse, very unique collection of weapons. Just to name a few, they've got a launcher that shoots teddy bears with TNT strapped to them, a gun that shoots bowling balls, an automatic Roman candle gun, little plushies that spray acid, and much, much more. The variety of weapons have different effectivenesses versus different kinds of enemies, so the game quickly becomes all about keeping your momentum and switching through many types of weapons for different scenarios. Like another game that came out recently that everyone's been creaming their pants over. The combination of movement and weapons are the core of this game. Like peanut butter and jelly, or screaming babies and trash cans. This is a smooth fusion that remains timeless. Wait, does that make any fucking sense? Another thing I'd like to point out before this video gets swept away by my incompetence is the customization of this game. I'm always for personalizing your character, but I personally never really dive deep into it. That being said, this game has some pretty good personalization options. For this playthrough, I tried to make my character look like Ellie from The Last of Us because irony is quite the bitch, but I kinda just ended up with Pippi Longstocking. God, I gotta structure these things better. I've probably hammered this point home already, but god damn do I love Sunset City. It's so well designed and it always feels like there's enough tools to get around, but vast enough to forge your own path. There's no linear A to B path, so no two players are going to end up taking the same route, which plays into the world design because every corner of the world has attention and care put into it. Now the city is split up into districts with a faction and a home base in each district. Each one has a unique theme and design and plays with its layout differently. For instance, downtown has many tall skyscrapers to climb, while Little Tokyo has these cool roofs you can grind on in 4 directions. I mean, if you want to be a smartass. Throughout the city, you'll encounter factions. These are groups of survivors who generally move the plot forward, give you a base to get missions and weapons from, and eventually support you in your fight against Fizco. There aren't any characters you'd give an Oscar to, and most of them can be pretty one-dimensional.
How'd you think you were gonna do that when I got this here gun?
Yeah, I got guns too.
Damn! But how do I know you can use them?
I'm an American.
I can use a cocky son of a bitch like you. Looks good on camera.
But they were cartoonish enough to entertain me and keep me playing. Although I wasn't really missing anybody when they hadn't shown up, nor did I rejoice in anyone's presence when they dropped in to say something. Except for you, Floyd, I'll always love you. Now the factions themselves may not be the most interesting, but the missions are where they really shine, and where Sunset Overdrive shines in general. Missions are often always diverse, unique, and downright fun. For a game that features not much more than shooting and fancy jumping, the variety of things to do in these missions is kind of extraordinary. When I replayed Sunset Overdrive for this video, the thing that stuck out to me the most was how much they were willing to shake things up, and the consistency of it too. I don't want to give away too much of the game, but there's some great stuff like riding a train through the city, flying a glider, forging a magic sword, roasting a bunch of pigeons, stripping naked and going on a bad trip after downing an entire bottle of cough medicine. The variety doesn't stop, and they become the crowning jewel of the game. There's always something new and fun they're doing with the formula all the way to the end credits, and then some. But sometimes they just say fuck it and just throw hordes of enemies at you in the night defenses. These are reoccurring levels that spring up throughout the game where you have to defend some of Floyd's vats from waves of OD. It's pretty straightforward, yeah, but they're some of my favorite levels. It's pure chaos, and you really get to unleash your destructive arsenal and all your tools. And speaking of variety, the enemies in this game aren't lacking either. With 3 different types and many different subclasses, they constantly introduce new baddies that change up the way you play. Some enemies you don't really want close to you. Others will try to stop you from grinding around. Some are big and require more attention. Others will really try to swarm you. If nothing else, Sunset Overdrive is full of creative and fun ideas. It's charming and full of surprises. It's such a treat to play. And I'm sure it'd be happy to hear me brag about it like some prodigy child for so long. But no game is flawless. So I'm gonna shit on this one a little bit. Firstly, one of the biggest problems with this game is that it's just too damn easy. Dying is kinda hard because you're constantly where the enemies aren't, and usually the ones with ranged abilities don't really do enough damage to kill you. On top of that, there's only one difficulty, so you're kinda just stuck with it. And it's such a shame because the team took so much time to create so many different death animations that'll now all go to waste. I mean, just look at these. I almost just want to let them play for a bit because I know you won't be seeing them much throughout the game. And the difficulty is especially apparent in boss battles. The bosses are so easy that it almost undermines them as bosses. Holy shit, I gotta fight a fucking mutant dragon? Are you kidding? Bam! Boop! Got him! Well, that was easy. I mean, I literally just pressed the B button 3 times. Is that supposed to be a test to my ability? And this is the experience with pretty much every other boss. For a game with such variety and creativity in their missions, it kinda sucks that the bosses are lame and really just follow the same patterns. The only one that does anything different is the King Scab boss, where you grind on a roller coaster and destroy other carts. But even that boss is really easy. I mean, the way you kill him is kinda cool, but you don't even really have to try hard. You can literally just kill him without the controller in your hands. What kind of shit is that? It's not even a video game at that point. You're better off just watching a movie. Never mind. This movie's kinda boring. The game is also a little too short. I scheduled myself plenty of spare time to play through it for the video, and I used about half of the time. I even managed to get some side quests done, and I also just kind of meandered about the city. I'm fine with the game not being very long. I mean, I understand it's hard to put a lot of content into games, but this game doesn't get a pass because replaying it kind of sucks. There's no New Game Plus, which doesn't fucking make any sense because Ratchet & Clank had a New Game Plus, and that was a decade ago. But you're probably just thinking, oh well, you can just replay missions at any time, so just replay the game like that. Nope, fuck you. We're gonna put them in alphabetical order. Why would you list replay missions in alphabetical order? So your only hope is to delete your save through your files because you can't do it in game, or play the game on a new account, or just buy it on a new platform.
It doesn't make sense, and it feels like all of these issues could have been easily fixed after launch, but they're still there. Like, why? Why would you keep that in the game? The game's like 5 years old, and they never thought to just fix this issue. So the only other content you're gonna get beyond the game is the post-game content, the DLCs. And they're not even really that good. I mean, there was 2 DLCs, and I didn't really replay them for the video because I didn't really have much fun with them when I originally played them. If I had to say which one of them was better, I would say the second one, just because some of the missions are cool, and there's a cool gun, but honestly, it's not even really worth playing. And I mean, sure, they both came out for free, so it's not like you're wasting your money or anything. The DLCs just kind of feel a little rushed, and they don't really have the same charm as the main game. Another bit of content we're talking about is the multiplayer. It's not on the PC version of the game, and nobody plays it on the Xbox anymore. Nobody was even playing it when the game came out. I don't even really have footage of it, but it wasn't really that great. They should have just made it open world, but instead they made it like these weird like challenge things. The only positive thing I remember about it was there was a co-op night defense at the very end, but you had to go through so much slog just to get to it. It ultimately wasn't worth it in the end. In summary, Sunset Overdrive is a hidden gem of the Xbox One library. It's fun, fast, and an energetic game with a lot of charm to it. It does have its drawbacks, but I think it's still worth picking up and playing. And I think Microsoft should have pushed to make this game something more. I don't think we'll ever get a sequel, even though they baited at the end, but with their hands being kind of full with the new Spider-Man games. But Insomniac seems to be proud of what they did with Sunset Overdrive, so we'll never know for sure. And with new consoles coming out in 2 months, I just want to give an open letter to Microsoft. Dear Microsoft, we've had some good times. I've spent so much time and money playing your games. Ever since the original Xbox, I've been by your side, and I was there for you for so many of your greatest moments. I was behind you every step of the way. Hell, I even supported and defended the Kinect. But you've lost your way. We both aren't who we used to be, and I think we should see other systems. It's not me, it's mostly you. I mean, I had more fun playing Persona 5 than Gears of War 5. And I want to play that new Spider-Man game faster than Gears Tactics? Is this really your only exclusive launch title? Really? Fuck you, Xbox. I'm getting a PS5 for sure.
Thank you so much for watching this video. It took a little longer than I was expecting to. If you liked it, leave a like, and make sure to subscribe because I do have more videos coming, and I promise these ones won't take as long. And if you haven't seen it already, go check out my Outer Wilds video. I put it up, it's somewhere on the screen, just go click it, check it out, go, watch it.